had a dream where I saw the email that I had been accepted. I knew I wanted to do NICU, neonatal intensive care unit. And there was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of pressure from family. There was a lot of pressure from mom, and even a lot of pressure within myself. I didn't want to go and try and apply to a nursing program and get rejected again. So when I actually opened the email that I got accepted, it was exciting, but it was also the start of a whole different adventure. When I first get to the apartment in San Antonio, I unpack everything, unload everything into the studio, and I looked around. It's just a square, it's a studio, but I felt so alone. I broke down and I cried. I remember telling the Lord, I prayed for this, I just wasn't sure you're gonna answer me this way. Far from home, far from church, far from family. But right before I left, Pastor Luis was also preaching, and he said, you're gonna go in your weakness because the Lord is faithful and strong in your weakness. That little piece echoed like within me, and it was talking to me, like he was talking to me. And I just grabbed a piece of paper and wrote it down. And I took that piece of paper with me to San Antonio, and that was the first thing I hung on my wall because I said, Lord, you brought me here, and you're gonna walk me through it. And that was my hope. Throughout the program, there was many times where I was like, what am I doing? There were moments where I just felt, is this going to be fruitful? Like, is this going to pay off? So far, so good. The entire program, finished each semester. But then my last semester, where we had an exam, and like a good 30 of us didn't pass it. And you only get a second chance. And if you don't pass it, you're out of the program. That's where anxiety hit the roof. I would have bouts of anxiety, crying in the library, wondering, why am I retaking this test? Especially this last semester. Why me? Why right now? In one of those nights that I was up studying, frustrated, I played a Viva church song, Tú y Yo. And that was one of my tracks that I would just replay because it was really just me and the Lord, just us. And the lyrics to that song really spoke to me. I remember praying to the Lord, and I remember feeling his presence sitting at the foot of my bed with that song. And so it was like, yeah, it's us two. It's you and I. Honestly, moving to San Antonio was a lot of breaking and a lot of surrendering, getting to know different sides of the Lord as Father, as provider, as the only thing that I need. I left Dallas feeling like a failure, and I'm coming back fulfilled, but not in a sense of, look at what I accomplished, but more in the sense of, this is the Lord's career. This is what he gave me for me to serve him. And every time I go to work, I try to remember that I'm working for the Lord. And so coming back to Dallas and coming back to Viva Church, I said, Lord, allow me to give to your church. Because even when I was in nursing school, my point of contact was always Viva Church. I had people praying for me throughout that time still. So I just wanted to give back, to give God my time, my resources, and my energy. Now, here in Dallas, what I like to do is, as I'm doing my assessment, I like to think of it as, this is your first stop with me for this baby. This is your first stop in my hands for me to pray over you and for me to change the course of your future. Especially in this field, you have a lot of a vulnerable population. And just to be able to bring in that light of Christ into these families, into the room while caring for these babies, to see the purpose that the Lord has for them as he did for me. And I am blessed to walk in God's purpose.